Our guest today is Blythe Ellsworth. If you are not getting testimonials for your business or getting basic praises that don't inspire customers to buy, then this talk is for you. Blythe is a customer experience genius. That's what one of her clients said about her, who will share her secret to getting testimonials that actually attract more clients. She'll share how to ask for them, how to get better ones, and how to use them properly. Please join me in welcoming Blythe Ellsworth.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. La-da-da. Let me know if you can see this okay. Yep, everything's good. Okay, great. All righty then. So I shall start my talk. I have to move all these like little windows out of the way. Okay. So I'm going to give you something practical in the next 10 minutes so get your screenshot button ready. Every time you see the little camera, it'll spin. You can screenshot that slide. I'll also verbally remind you. But I've got slides in here that you're going to want to hold on to. First, let's start with a story. So, alrighty. I hadn't even been in business for one full year, and my ideal client found me through Facebook group, and someone she trusted mentioned my name. She didn't ask for my portfolio, she didn't request a discovery call. She booked and paid in full. And that didn't happen by accident. I had intentionally taught people that I worked with how to talk about me, what transformation I delivered, who I was for, so when the moment came, they had those words ready to go. That's the power of social proof that works for you while you sleep. So here's the ugly truth. Most business owners treat testimonials like trophies. They collect them, they display them on a website wall, and then they move on. Over 90% of buyers read reviews before they buy. 85% trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. And I personally was convinced to buy a four-figure course by one testimonial. Not a sales page, not a call out, just one testimonial that spoke exactly to my stuck point. The question isn't whether you need testimonials, it's whether you're engineering them or you're just hoping that, your compliments work. Here's what most people get wrong, though. They think testimonials are compliments, and that's not true. They're market research disguised as praise. So when someone leaves you a testimonial, they are handing you the exact language that your next client is using to describe their problem right then and there. There are three things happening inside of a buyer's brain, and when they read a testimonial, this is kind of what's going on. Social proof. Someone like me already took this risk and it paid off. Identity mirroring. I see myself in that person's story. Narrative persuasion. Stories activate the brain differently than feature lists. And I built a little math equation here. So it's friction pain point plus your secret sauce equals your unique compliment. Here's a page to screenshot. Let me show you the difference between a testimonial that describes a transaction and one that describes a transformation. So the red column, these are testimonials. They're genuinely positive, but they read the potential buyer and like, what do we actually learn about who we're buying from? Now, the green column, if you read these, notice what happens within your body. There's definitely a pull. The weak ones describe what it's like to work with someone. The strong ones show you who you, the buyer, could become. So something like she was amazing to work with tells me you're pleasant. It doesn't tell me that my life gets better. If I say something like, I closed a sale and I'd been struggling with it for weeks, now I can picture my life on the other side of where I'm at. Both might be true, but only one of them converts. We can screenshot this page. Here's the question. How do we get the second kind of testimonial instead of the first? We're going to stop leaving questions to chance. This is what I call the Jeopardy method. In Jeopardy, you start with the answer and you work your way backwards to the question. That's exactly what we're going to do here. So, step one, get really clear on what you need. Do you need more low ticket buyers? Are people ghosting your proposals? Whatever that answer is going to tell you what kind of testimonial you're going to need to grab. Number two, imagine the exact words you want someone to say. Write those down if you have to. Like what is that end testimonial going to look like? Number three, Build the question backwards from that destination. So if you want someone to say, I've never invested in something this fast in my life, then you want to ask something like, once you knew you were ready, how easy was the purchasing process? Your questions are not meant to be neutral. They never were. The only choice is whether you're engineering them intentionally or you're leaving the answers to chance. Now, before I show you what this looks like in practice, I'm going to be real with you. I am neurodivergent. Social situations are not always intuitive for me. What other people absorb naturally in conversation, those emotional undercurrents, unspoken needs, moments where someone feels truly seen, I can miss those in real time entirely. If I want to stay consistent in my business, I can't rely on just reading the room. I have to engineer a system that works even when I have emotionally just no idea what's going on. The micro symptom framework exists because I needed it too, not because I'm wired specially for like intuitiveness. I'm wired the way I am, so I built a system where I can compensate for things that other people just naturally feel. Screenshot this page. Let me show you this in action with a real client of mine. So I asked her, how did it make you feel to be dealing with these problems before we started working together? Notice what I didn't ask. I didn't ask her, how stressed were you? Because that would give me a rating, such as very stressed, pretty stressed, not too bad. Those are answers you get when you ask someone to measure their feelings. What I wanted was language that came to her naturally when she relived that memory. So I gave her permission to feel it again, not just describe it. And she said, it was overstimulating my nervous system just when I had to think about these things. I'm seeing now stagnancy turn into flow. Like that's the language right there that my next ideal client is quietly living. And now when she reads that, she doesn't just relate to it, she steps inside of that moment. So the formula here is we ask a question, an emotional door opens, we get micro symptom language, and then the reader gets a recognition trigger. So here's a fun testimonial that I actually wrote. Let's take a look at this. This is just me leaving a review because I know what people are looking for. This is a review I left about a salad. I was wandering around the mall, completely bored of every other option, when I stumbled across this cute spot. Patio called to me. I ordered a salad and just sat in the sunlight, expecting the usual, a sad little bowl you get everywhere else. But the romaine was piled high. Every topping was accounted for, and the price made me feel like I had found a secret gem. This is where I'm coming every time I need to reboot at a power salad the size of my torso. Okay, so within 10 seconds, I can see five distinct pieces of content sitting inside of this little salad review. Number one, visual hook. Is this salad actually the size of a torso? That'll create a curiosity click. Number two, atmosphere post. The patio, the afternoon light, best time to come. Call in those vibe seekers. Like the objection handler, not your everyday boring restaurant salad. That is a direct answer to skeptics. Number five, case studies, prices versus nearby competitors, why the combination delivers the reset that person needs. Value post, nutritional power packed in a power salad as a concept. Screenshot this page. Here's what we're walking away with today on top of everything else. When you're ready, I want you to write these three questions down. Question one, this is the before, where we want to say things like, what were you struggling with, looking for, or feeling frustrated about before you found us? This creates identification for your future client to recognize themselves in what your actual client is saying. Question two, the experience. What was it like to work together, to go through the process? This builds trust in you as a guide. Question three, the after. What has specifically changed or resulted? Numbers, time frames, things like that. You want to prompt them. This creates that aspiration and they see what's possible. These three questions are here, but the important part is I don't want you to just copy mine. I want you to put them in your voice for your clients, what you're looking for, and what you do. Then do a test. Read your answers back to yourself after you answer your own questions that you wrote, and then evaluate would these answers that you wrote make you want to buy from yourself? If the answer comes easily and strongly, your questions are working. If you feel stuck, felt vague, or get uncomfortable, that's the exact friction your clients are feeling when they're asked something the wrong way, and that feeling is just information, nothing to get scared of. Okay, so the full guide of the Trust Builder takes you through how to make these questions specifically to your business, what time you need to ask them within your entire client journey, how to turn those answers into a content engine, how to build systems that collect great testimonials automatically, and a bunch more. So you can screenshot this page because it has some of my contact information in here. And just, I want to make sure that you remember like that client that I told you about at the beginning, the one who booked without ever hearing my name. That happened because I had already trained her through my engineering questions, my understanding of her pain points, and I designed reflection process so that she could remember who I was, what I delivered without thinking twice. I made it easy for her. And she didn't just find me any client, she found me right clients. And that is what a system does when it's built with intention. So if you want to build this yourself, everything you need is inside of my Trust Builder full PDF guide. And I just want to say, please stop leaving your best marketing in the heads of people who already love you. Thank you very much. I'm Blythe. I'm a client experience designer, and I look forward to meeting you.
Thank you so much, Blythe. We're gonna pull up the applause again because the applause is always the awesome vibe, and we definitely need it for that awesome presentation. Looking at the chat, people were feeling it for sure. So, thank you again. Please